Have you ever bumped into your cat outside of your house in the neighborhood? How was the interaction? I was driving past a school a couple of blocks from home and saw his fat ass disappearing through a side gate. Pulled over and said to him through the fence, "What are you doing out here?" You could see from the confusion on his face that he was surprised to see me. It was all wait, what? He meowed at me a couple of times, then wandered off to whatever business he was up to. Mayo, you make it sound like has your friend. And you're fucking with him, lol. Panicked because he doesn't like other people, then realized it was me and acted smug that his human was with him. Yeah, I take my human for walks, don't you? When I was living at my parents' we had brought in a stray cat and named her Molly. Whenever I left the house for work, Molly would escort me to the end of the road, and when I came home late at night, after going out to the pub/club, Molly would hear me and meet me halfway down the road as I was heading back. Best cat ever. Their hearing is astounding. When I was a kid in the 1960s, a guy in a van delivered fresh fish every Wednesday morning at around 11 AM to 1 PM, depending on how busy he'd been with previous deliveries. Our cat, like most cats, adored fish, and the guy adored our cat, so he would always have some of cuts to give him when he delivered. So our cat would start acting weird every Wednesday morning, not going out to the wilderness behind the house as normal, just hanging around the front of the house. He knew what day it was. Then at some point he'd run to the front door and sit there looking through it intently. We knew then that the van was about 5 minutes away, without fail. So not only did he know what day of the week it was, he could hear that particular van, a very common model of van, a Hummer FC, but other people's FCs never confused him, from some extraordinary distance, at least half a mile away. She likes being near me when we are outside together, but if I try to pet her, she acts like, "Stop. My friends will see." So we just chill together near each other. I found him with stray cats, then he totally ignored me. When he came home later, I sat him down and had a serious talk with him about hanging out with strays. Since then, every time I bump into him, he abandons his friends and runs home, then acts all cute when I get there. Ha. I drove around the corner one time and saw my cat sitting in a circle of other cats, and I rolled down the window and I was like, "Smoky cloud, what on earth do you think you are doing?" And his eyes snapped up and locked with mine and all the cats scattered. Haha, he looked so guilty when I got home. My parents' cat has learned the sound of all of our car engines and knows not to be afraid. So one night, as I was driving home from work, he was out wandering the neighborhood and stopped a nice couple out for a walk to get some belly rubs. I turn onto our street, his ears perk up, and he runs to the middle of the road. This couple is freaking out, trying to get him back to the side of the road cause, you know, there's a car coming. I pull off to the side, start yelling explicits at him as I get out of my car. The couple is trying to explain that he just ran to the middle of the road. They were trying to get him out of the road. They don't know who he belongs to, ECT. I apologized, told them he's my cat and he always runs in front of our cars. Looked at him, said, "Zipper, you stupid cat, get in the car, we're going home." He jumped in and off we went. I don't know who scared the couple more, the cat running in front of the car, or the crazy woman in the car yelling at the cat. He was hanging out with some other humans while sitting on my wall. Traitor. The postal worker once asked me if I knew where the poor little stray cat came from that she'd seen hanging around my house. Apparently my cat was begging so hard she thought Kitty was homeless. A fake poor handler. When I was in high school, my friend's cat used to come visit me at my house. Always took a picture of us cuddling to show her who the cat's favorite really was. That's adorable. Were your houses close together? Nap head walk 18 miles there and back. I once got home from work to find my cat basically glued to the ground in front of the door crying her head off. Turns out she snuck out when my roommate got home and he didn't notice, and she was sitting there for 15 minutes. I lived behind a big field forest growing up that was on the border to my neighborhood. One time my cat came strutting out of the wilderness while me and my friends were playing with a giant dead bird in its mouth. He saw us and stopped, then slowly turned around back into the wilderness. That was the day I learned my cute Mr. Skittles was living a double violent life. Not sure this is what Op is going for, but there was one summer we were staying with in-laws and my cat would spend the day outside. When I got home, I would whistle for him and he'd come out from wherever he was hiding and basically ask me to carry him inside for snuggles until the next day. It was very sweet. I asked him, why are you outside, Ricardo? You are an indoor kitty, do not run. Or resist, I have you now, return to me. And then he just run. My cat does the cutest shit ever. Whenever I bump into her while walking outside of the house, she'll run over and meow at me while laying down so that I can pet her. Once I finish giving her pets, she happily follows me on my walk around the neighborhood. Countless people have asked me if I've trained her to do it, but nope, I just accidentally got a doggo disguised as a cat. Huh, that cat looks just like my cat, walks up to our apartment and sees broken screen from the second story window. Looks back at cat, meow. He was fine and happy to have explored the neighborhood, I guess. She hissed and ran away. She liked me again when she came home for food. You're so embarrassing, Dad. Go away. Suspiciously happy to see me. Every day when I come home from school he sprints as fast as his fat little sausage body can carry him from the end of my cul-de-sac. He doesn't like doing physical activity, but when I get home he becomes the Usain Bolt of cats. I love my little buddy. Yeah, he was dealing meth on the corner of 40H. Happened once with somebody else's cat, which had been presumed lost. Little guy looked super healthy and happy and had an ID tag on a collar. At his former home he hadn't been fed all that well and was also an outdoor cat. I said nothing to anyone. I was standing on the doorstep of my friend's house a few streets over from my house and both of my cats appeared on the step and tried to come inside with me. She waits by the side of the street every evening. When she sees me coming around the corner, she runs towards me, making little weird sounds. Then she rubs herself all over me and follows me inside the house. My cat thinks he's a dog. He comes when called, plays fetch, and wrestles with the hounds. Every evening cat waits at the corner for me to walk the puppy. Then he follows us around the block, plays in the field with the dog for a bit, then comes home and waits for my husband to walk the bigger dog, who is his best friend. 2 nights ago cat brought his stray cat friend to walk with us. So I was the crazy lady walking a dog and 2 cats. I get some weird looks. Edit, since people seem to like Fuji. He also walks with the neighbor dogs. Every morning he walks with an old man with a golden retriever and he approaches anyone else he sees while walking. He seems to have figured out which dogs are friendly. He has about 4 houses that he goes to eat and visit with people and their pets. Cat tax. Old post I made a while ago. https://www.reddit.com/r/animals/beanbra/comment/zeus_cuddle_brother/. Yeah, found out he would regularly visit the pub which was down the end of the street and through an alley. He would go there and beg food from people sitting on the benches outside. He looked deeply guilty when he saw me standing watching him. I can explain. Go right ahead. When I was a kid we lived near the school and my cat would listen for the recess bell and come find me on the playground. She got confused when I went to junior high and wasn't there at recess anymore. That's adorable. My cat pretends he doesn't know who I am if he's anything further afield than our driveway. Literally just acts like I'm cramping his style. He's a prick and I adore him. My old neighborhood was home to a lot of friendly strays that my cat befriended. Ed let him out while I was at work to chill with them. He acted like he didn't know me when they were around, but really has a baby that gets sad if I come home late. Gotta preserve that street cred. Not my cat, but the story fits. I used to have 3 cats, but this isn't about them. Every once in a while, a random neighborhood cat would get in our house through the cat door, eat our cat's food, and get pets and cuddles from whoever was inside. We called this cat Spots. We'd see him at the house, of course, and in about a 3-block radius. He was our part-time cat. One time, he came over and stayed for 3 days. It was cold, he'd sleep on my bed. So cute. Anyway, on the 3rd day, there was a sign on the corner, "Lost Tomcat." Very friendly XXXXXXXXXXX, no physical description or anything, just that I figured that whoever made the sign was probably talking about Spots, so I called. Turns out I was right. The owner, an elderly man, walked over to the house. As soon as Spots saw the guy, he ran up to him and rolled over on his back like a friendly kitty. "Oh, hi, sweet pea, I missed you too." He picked Spots up. Spots went all floppy like a rag doll, rubbing up against the guy's hand. I explained that Spots just kinda showed up, ate the food, made friends with the humans, and avoided the other cats. The guy said that Sweet Pea has done that a couple times before, at different houses. Has such a charming little man. But it's cold, so I wanted to make sure he was okay. And I missed the little guy. He walked home, carrying the cat. Spots kept showing up to say hi for the rest of the time I lived there. Oh, this is my favorite. Not me, but my mom would tell this story every time I sang the song about Freddie Wilson's cat growing up. In the summer, my old childhood cat would sit in the windows and occasionally pop out the screens. One night he did this, and my mom caught him casually walking down the street when she was coming home from work. She just got out of the car and asked him exactly where the hell he thought he was going, lol. He took off into the ravine, and she prepared to have to tell very young me that our cat ran away. By the time she got through the neighborhood, though, he was waiting in the carport. There is a Mexican expression. Cats and drunk people, God knows how, but they always find their way home. I came across my cat down the road near the busy main road. I was concerned that she would get run over, so I picked her up and decided to walk her home. She didn't mind at first, as she is quite used to being picked up, but it was a good 5-minute walk to our house and she started to struggle more and more on the way up, to a point where I struggled to contain her. When I finally got home, I could not get the keys out of my pocket as I needed to restrain her, so I knocked the door. My girlfriend came to the door and looked at me as if I was crazy. I said, "I found Charlie near the main road. I didn't know she roams that far, so I brought her back to avoid her getting run over." She stared at me for another 10 seconds before she said, "That's not Charlie. Charlie is asleep on the sofa." I once chased a cat around my neighborhood for a good 25 minutes. Trying to get my cat in so I could go to bed. Come home after not even catching the cat, and my cat is sleeping in my bed.